Hello everyone, I am Deepak Tomar working as an assistant professor at RKGIT Ghaziabad. Today in this video we will discuss about the subject operation planning and control of MBA second year, and the topic of discussion is production planning and control. So going forward to the next slide or next topic, production planning and control. Production planning and control refers to two strategies that work cohesively throughout the manufacturing process. It means both the strategies work together. Production planning involves what to produce, when to produce it, how much to produce, and more. A long-term view of production planning is necessary to fully optimize the production flow. Production control uses different control techniques to reach optimum performance from the production system to achieve throughout the targets. Production planning and control constitutes the planning, scheduling, routing, dispatching, and follow-up of the entire production process. It further ensures that the movement of the materials, productivity of the machine, and efficiency of the labor are derived in a manner so the accomplishment of the common goal, and the same is quantified in terms of time, quality, and place. Now coming to the next slide, we will discuss about the objectives of production planning and control. Now there are many objectives of production planning and control. Following are the some objectives. First one, nature of input. Manufacturing of product requires in variety of inputs. Quality of the final product is directly proportional to the quality of the input that are being put into the production process. It means if the inputs are qualitative, in that case output will be qualitative. It means finished product will be qualitative. So planning is also required to ensure that the right inputs go into the production process. The second objective of production planning and control is quantum of inputs. It means quantum is related with the quantity. In achieving a production level, the right mix of the inputs is quite essential. The perfect product can only be produced if the inputs quantity is sufficient, if the inputs quantity is according to the standard. However, any variation in the composition will alter the final product. Now coming to the next objective, that is proper coordination. Proper coordination between machines, equipment, and the labor must be ensured. This will reduce the wastage and ultimately the cost will come down. Now coming to the next objective, that is better control. Planning is the stepping stone for the efficient control. The actual performance can be reconciled with the set standards, and the deviation can be easily corrected. Coming to the next objective, facilitates uninterrupted production. Planning ensures that the material and the components are supplied continuously and there is no interruption. This ensures that there exists zero idle time in the production process. It means machine and human both do not sit idle while production process. Now the next objective is efficient utilization of the capacity. If the capacity of the machine and equipment is adequately utilized, the cost of production is likely to come down. Now the coming to the next objective, that is timely delivery. Uninterrupted production leads to timely delivery of the output. It means there is no chances of losing of revenue. If you are delivering the quantity on time, then you will make the satisfy customer, and you can make healthy relation with the customer also. In this slide, we will discuss the functions of production planning and control. So there are two parts, production planning and production control. There are functions which are listed in production planning, that are routing, scheduling, and loading. And the functions which we perform in the production control, that are dispatching, follow-up, and inspection. The first function, routing. Routing means to create a path, to create a route. It refers to the formation of path and developing of a sequence on the basis of which the manufacturing activities will take place. This sequence is pre-decided so the manufacturing activities can take place without hassle. Under routing, the movement path for both the materials and the components are pre-decided through different set of machines and the workstation till the time they are converted into the finished products. For routing, we have to determine what to manufacture and purchase. It means what we are going to manufacture, what we are going to outsource from other sources. Now we have to determine the requirement of the material, we have to determine the required operation and arranging them in a sequence. We have also to determine the load sizes to be manufactured. We have also determined different discarded materials. We have to determine the cost associated with production. We have to determine, we have to organize different forms of production controlling. Following are the factors that affect routing. So first one is nature of the manufacturing, different type of machines needed, machines and different resource availability, human resource factor. These are the factors which we have to consider while making routes. Now, the second function of planning is scheduling. It means it refers to assign time slot to each of the activity that is present in the sequence of the operation. It assigns the starting time and the termination time for function and ensure that the overall task is completed within the designated time. It may also be referred as the time phase of the loading. For any operation, scheduling is the key to meet the delivery deadlines. It means in this case, we have to fix the starting time of an activity and we have to fix the end time of an activity. Now coming to the next function, that is loading. It means allotment of tasks to different machines depending on their capacity or load handling. It means you have to assign the task only according to the capacity of machine. It ensures that optimum load is allocated to each of the machine after establishing the route. The next step is allocation of the load to respective machine and the workstations. After multiplying allotted units with processing time for each of the unit, the total processing time for the machine can be calculated. This time calculated signifies the standard time with which the work is expected to be completed. This time is further added in the work that is planned for the machine. Finally, a chart is prepared representing the various jobs that the machine is going to process. We have discussed the production planning function in the previous slides, and now we are going to discuss production control function. In the production control function, first function is dispatching. In the planning phase, we did only the paperwork, but now this is time to execution. Now the first function is dispatching. The routing and scheduling function that is discussed above forms a part of documentation only. Actual production takes place at this stage. Dispatching takes the responsibility of transforming what is documented in a written form into the practical form, following the functions of routing and scheduling. Now coming to the next function, that is expediting, follow-up or oblique progressing. Control is said to have been exercised when actual performance follows the same path as that of the budgeted performance. In case the starting and the terminating times are delimit, there is no need to feel concerned about whether the commitments will meet the deadlines or not. The machine is set to fully utilize its capacity if it is working on the direction laid down by the plans. It means if all the process is going according to the planned way, then we can easily we can easily control each and every activity. Now this is the last function of production control, that is inspection. It refers to the examination of product and verifying it for the quality control purpose and other such attribute. For controlling the product quality, it is as important as any of the other techniques. Inspection compares the delivered result with the act standards and can occur at three distinct stages: before production commences, during the production, and after production terminate. It means if you have to inspect the quality of the product at the raw material time, you have to check the raw material, you have to check the semi-finished goods, you have to check the finished goods also. Now in this slide we will discuss the factors affecting production planning and control. The first factor, usage of computer. Nowadays we are using the technology. The latest automation equipment like computer, punch card, biometrics, etc. are being used by the factories nowadays. Irrespective of the volume of the operation, computers have become part of the task. It has facilitated the efficient management of the man and material resources. On the other hand, some workers consider it as their competitor and fear losing jobs with the introduction of the technology. Now coming to the next factor, that is seasonal variation. There are certain products where the demand is derived from particular season, as in the case of umbrella and raincoat where the demand is basically in rainy season. On the other hand, if you are wearing woolen clothes, the demand is generated on the winter season. PPC, production planning and control, tend to consider all these factors while preparing a production schedule. It may require to produce even during the non-seasonal time so that the stock can be accumulated or for sale during the peak season. Next factor which affect the production planning and control, that is change in fashion. In the present day market, this factor is of paramount importance. Throughout the demand during the season can be predicted, it is very difficult to predict the future fashion. If the demand of the product is fashion driven, then occasional sampling, survey or test marketing is very important. Those organizations that deals in garments, cosmetics, etc. are much more influenced by this factor. A company may incur huge losses if the production is not planned, keeping the preferences and the fashion in consideration. Now coming to the next factor, that is test marketing. Test marketing signifies that the emerging product must be test marketed aggressively to predict the future trend. This is a short duration process and many times disrupt the regular production schedule. However, PPC is required to take care of such demand. Now coming to the next factor, that is vertical integration versus horizontal integration. Mostly the focus of the company is on technical areas of the main product assembling. There are other small peripheral operations that are to be considered when the subcontracts and other sub-assemblies are conducted within the organization. It is termed as the vertical integration, and when the same is done from the outside sources, it is termed as the horizontal integration. Now, next factor, that is after sales service. With the growth in the competition, this has become a key factor in the present environment. Many companies, as part of providing after sales service, either repair or replace the damaged articles. Both may disrupt the regular ongoing operation. However, PPC ensure to handle this extra job. Now coming to the factor loss on account of unpredictable factor. There are some factors which we cannot predict in advance. Loss may arise as a result of fire, theft or accident in the production line to materials and the component. In number of cases, the same can be predicted. Even the shortage of material and the components may disrupt the production schedule. This may impose a real challenge to the PPC. The plan made should be flexible enough to incorporate any of such requirements. Coming to the next factor, production on order. Sometimes as a result of certain external pressure, there may be change in priority of few of the existing orders. However, it is up to the management to decide upon the priority level of the product. Any change will, however, influence the PPC. Thus, the factor is also demands a consideration. Now coming to the factor, that is design changes. If there is a change in design, in that case production planning and control takes more time. So we have to think about this also. The engineering and the R&D department may ask for some changes in the design. This will again definitely require change in the input component and the process. Further, it's lead to change in the pattern in which the production is carried out. It may not be possible to eliminate the change in pattern of production, but it can be reduced to a certain level. When the change is introduced after fulfillment of the current obligation, it will be an ideal scenario. In other case, adjustment is required to made in the PPC. Now coming to the next factor, rejection and replacement. It may happen that the finished good faces rejection at the time of conducting the final inspection. This may require certain repair. PPC should make provision to repair such defective article without disrupting the whole production schedule. So in today's video, we have discussed the production planning and control basics, functions of production planning and control, and what are the factors which affect the production planning and control. Now we will discuss another topic in the next video. So thank you.